Hey everyone. My suggestion for you right at the start of this video is to make sure you watch it when you can give it your full attention. Have a pen and paper handy to take notes, because the information I'm about to share will give you the exact process to achieve anything you want. So pay close attention. I also want you to understand that the insights I'm sharing with you in these videos don't just magically appear in my mind. I don't wake up in the morning with these ideas and immediately start recording. These ideas are the result of extensive research. Just yesterday, I watched several videos and attended some lectures, including one that lasted 2 hours and 50 minutes. During this lecture, I listened to a scientist named Bruce Lipton, and you might want to look him up. He discussed how the biology of belief works, how our beliefs impact our biology, even affecting our healing or sickness. Understand that belief is what you accept as truth. This should be the translation: what you believe to be true about yourself, your abilities, your worthiness, and your intelligence. When I mention your beliefs, you might immediately think of religion or God, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm referring to your convictions, your truths. These influence your entire perception, and your perception, in turn, creates your entire reality. So, I watched all those 2 hours and 50 minutes of lectures, plus other ones I've seen, always with a single goal in mind. My goal is straightforward: to help people reprogram their minds to change their realities, or in other words, to achieve what they want and improve their quality of life. That's what I'm bringing to you today. But it's crucial to understand that this isn't just a YouTube video. I'm not a YouTuber, even though I use YouTube to communicate. I'm a teacher. Someone who wants to leave a legacy and work to make people's lives easier, making their path to success much faster. Alright, let's dive into our work here. I'm going to start by asking you a question, and you need to answer it. What is the main difference between people who are already successful and those who are just starting out? To put it another way, why do successful people find it easier to venture into new endeavors? Why is it that successful people are more willing to take risks? And even if they fail and lose everything, they bounce back, venture again, and recover. The main factor is faith. Faith. Make a note of that. Now, let's understand faith. I'm not talking about religion again. I'm referring to something beyond the concept of faith in God, church, or dogma. What I mean by faith is certainty. The faith I'm talking about is the certainty in your own abilities. When I have faith in myself, when I have faith in my capabilities, it means I am certain of what I can achieve. So, what's missing for someone who's just starting out in their journey is that they don't believe in themselves. Now, here's a fantastic detail that I was searching for. How do I build faith in myself? How do I develop faith in my own abilities? First, you need to understand why you don't believe in yourself. And here's the big question. Why is that? Imagine you're talking about yourself. Who knows you better than you know yourself? Here's the answer: you don't know yourself that well. That's why the philosopher, was it Plato who said it? Know thyself. If it wasn't Plato, you can leave a comment to correct me, but that's beside the point. Know thyself. When you don't believe in yourself, the crucial question is, if you don't believe in yourself, what do you believe in? If you don't have faith or certainty in yourself, what do you have faith in? Do you have faith in the fact that you can't succeed? The reality is that whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right in both cases. So, what do you need to do to completely transform your life? You need to develop faith and certainty that your goals will be achieved. Now, the big question is, how do you do that? I've been searching for the answer, and I have it to share with you. So, stay tuned to the video, pay attention, and take notes. What I'm going to do now is grab a book and show you something. If you've never read Think and Grow Rich, I highly recommend it. But if you read this book without a deep understanding of it, it won't make you rich. That's a fact. Why? Because even though I bought this book back in 2011 and it already mentioned that over 30 million copies had been sold worldwide, not everyone who read it became rich. That's because they don't understand what's inside. It's a matter of missing the foundation. So, I'm on page 38 of this book. Napoleon Hill outlined 6 basic steps to transform your desire into monetary equivalent. He said that with these 6 steps, you will achieve your goals. However, I've noticed that people often focus on the first 5 steps. Knowing what you want, setting a deadline, determining what you're willing to give in return, writing a plan, and reading that plan. But they miss the 6th step, which is the most important one. The 6th step is the key. Let me read it to you. The 6th step is this: read the statement. The statement is your goal written down. Read it out loud twice a day. Once before going to bed at night and once as soon as you wake up in the morning. But here's the most crucial part. While reading, believe that you already have the money in your possession. Visualize and feel the scene as if it's already happening. And while you're reading, believe it. Remember what I was telling you earlier. However, most people, when they read this, don't believe it. Some of you might watch my videos and think, I don't believe this. I understand where you're coming from. The fundamental question you need to ask yourself from now on is, what do you believe in? If someone tells you something and you find yourself thinking, I don't believe in this, you should immediately identify what you do believe in, because to not believe in something, you must believe in something else. It's easy to understand what people don't believe in. If someone is financially struggling like I was when I bought this book, living in a tiny apartment, and the book says to visualize scenes and believe you already have the money, it feels almost impossible. And it is almost impossible if you don't know the right technique. When Napoleon Hill wrote this book, we didn't have the technology or understanding of the mind that we have today. Look at what he says here. It's essential to follow the instructions in these 6 steps carefully. It's especially important to observe and follow the instructions of the 6th step. He acknowledges that you might find it impossible to see yourself in possession of money before you actually have it. That's where burning desire comes in. But the truth is, it's not just about burning desire. It's about knowing how to do it. Napoleon Hill even wrote a chapter about autosuggestion. What is autosuggestion? It's suggesting information to yourself with the goal of reprogramming your subconscious mind. Now, look at what he wrote in the final of the 6 steps, referring to the chapter on desire. You were instructed to read aloud twice a day, daily, the written description of your desire, visualizing and feeling as though you already possess the money. But here's what he says next. By following the instructions, you communicate the object of your desire directly to your subconscious mind with absolute faith. And this faith is not faith in God. Many people read the book and don't understand this because the term faith can be confusing. The faith here is about absolute certainty in your own abilities. And I'll explain that there's an even greater belief than just believing in your own abilities. Hill writes that with the repetition of this process, you intentionally create thought habits that are favorable to your efforts to transform desire into monetary equivalent. He also notes that when you read aloud the statement of your desire, which aims to develop an awareness of money, what is it? It's becoming conscious. I recorded the last video on this topic. If you haven't watched it yet, do so. I explained how to become aware of money. But then, Hill says that mere reading of the words will have no effect unless it's accompanied by emotion or feeling.
Aqui está a tradução desse trecho, mantendo o detalhamento e o tom explicativo.
And why did Napoleon Hill emphasize this so much? Let me explain with a drawing so you can understand. Imagine this drawing represents your mind. Just your mind. Your mind should be divided like this: 5% conscious and 95% subconscious. Let me ask you a question. When you pick up a book and read, you read it consciously, right? Now, how do you make your decisions? 95% of them are made unconsciously. That's why Hill says you need to include emotion and burning desire, because your subconscious mind is emotional. The only way to influence your subconscious is through emotion. So, he says, through repetition, you end up influencing your subconscious mind. Let me read this again. Let's read it together so it makes more sense to you. Let me find the page here. Here it is on page 77. With the repetition of this procedure, you create voluntary habits of thought that are favorable to your efforts. What are favorable habits of thought if not subconscious programming? Now, here's an extraordinary detail. What are we programming into our subconscious? This faith, not the kind of faith you might traditionally think of, but rather you need to start believing that what you desire is already real. And that's it. But I need you to know that this is one of the hardest things to accomplish. It's because of something called the analytical mind. What is the analytical mind? The analytical mind searches your subconscious for what you have already programmed and compares it to what's coming into your conscious mind. It checks if the new information aligns with your existing beliefs. That's why you might watch my videos and think, I don't believe in this. You might ask yourself, why is this not believable to me? The reason is that you don't have a solid foundation for your disbelief. What happens is you don't understand. So, Napoleon Hill suggests that through autosuggestion and a lot of willpower, you can influence your subconscious. However, most of us don't have that kind of willpower. Is there a quicker and easier way to build this faith and certainty that your goal is already real? And you might wonder, Professor, what would change in my life if I developed this faith? What would change is that you would become like those people who are already successful. The only difference between them and you, apart from specialized knowledge perhaps, is their certainty that they are capable. And how does a person acquire the certainty that they are capable? Through experience. So, what Napoleon Hill was trying to do is get you to believe that you already have the money and to visualize the scene, so you create in your subconscious what is known as a future memory. Today, technology teaches us to understand this concept much more simply. Now, why was Napoleon Hill's method so much harder compared to today's methods with advancements in technology and science? What is the big secret? How can we achieve the same thing much more quickly? We need to focus right here. We need to be able to bypass our analytical mind to consciously instill certainty. Certainty that we already have the money, certainty that we are already successful entrepreneurs, certainty that we already live in the house we want. We need to implant this in our subconscious mind. Until you have the faith and certainty that you are moving towards your goals, you won't take the necessary actions. That's why, despite watching countless videos and taking many courses, your life doesn't change. Your conscious mind can't overcome your subconscious mind, and it needs to be reprogrammed. So, what's the best way to achieve this? Guided meditations. Why guided meditations? Pay close attention as I explain again. Through guided meditations, we can achieve this by relaxing your body. We aim to reduce the vibrations of your mind from the beta state, which is a defensive state where you might be angry or upset, even towards the professor. We will shift to the alpha state and then further to the theta state. When we are in the theta state, especially with practice, your body and mind begin to relax deeply. Here's what happens. We receive information through our five senses. When someone says they don't believe in something, it's often because their eyes and ears are assessing their current reality and comparing it with new information, determining that it's not real. Your eyes perceive what's real, but if you don't believe what you see, you end up seeing what you believe. In the alpha and theta states, we lose the perception of our five senses. When you are in a meditative state, you close your eyes and lose visual input. With guided meditation, you block out auditory input as you listen to the meditation audio. You're not touching anything, the environment is pleasant, and there are no strong smells or tastes. Gradually, you lose awareness of your body. With the influence of guided meditation, you directly impact your subconscious. And here's something extraordinary. During these guided meditations, we will change your beliefs of limitation and unworthiness into beliefs of abundance and deservingness. Now, here's the extraordinary part. When you are in a meditative state, you are consciously aware while your body is at rest. Your consciousness is actively participating in the meditation, creating mental images. Even though you're seeing with the eyes of your mind, not your physical eyes, that experience becomes real. You won't just be imagining, you will be living the experience. This is what Napoleon Hill was trying to teach. You will be feeling, seeing, and living it. You'll experience the presence of money, counting it, spending it, being applauded, and seeing your dreams realized, right within your subconscious mind. And when the meditation ends, as you gradually return and your analytical mind reactivates, the experience you lived through meditation becomes a memory. It becomes a part of your life as a recollection. If you practice this repeatedly, it becomes a habit, a pattern, a part of who you are. You develop the certainty that it is already real and the assurance that you can achieve it. At that point, you cultivate both faith and certainty. When you least expect it, your actions and attitudes will change completely, and soon your eyes will start to see what you couldn't see before. At this moment, there are two possibilities. You can either acknowledge that you've discovered the path or say, "I don't believe in this." The choice is yours. If you decide to believe and take action, all you need to do is use meditation audios, watch the videos, and listen to the meditation audios for 21 days. Of course, you should continue this practice. I've been doing this daily since 2010, listening to guided meditations. Over time, I noticed there weren't meditations specific enough for my needs, so I ended up creating my own. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and